What a difference a week makes. Look at all that sandbar. The river's about maybe 8 inches lower. Should be substantially better for hunting today. Brought my sifter. We're gonna dig out that area where I found all the marbles in my last video and see what happens. So here's these, I call them sandbars, like gravel and soot bars really, in the middle of the river since the level went down over the week. And you can find things like this little tiny cork top, some kind of a medicine, just sitting here right on top of the rocks. We'll have to clean it up. It's not embossed or anything, but if I had a closer look at this, mold seam stops right about here, so that's probably pre-1900. This whole area in front of me is quicksand, so I'm pulling this, whatever this is, back to me. Let's see what it is. Okay, it looks like it's some kind of cork top. Let's get it where the ground is stable. None of this ground is stable. Okay, right here. Oh, don't go away. Don't get away from me. Alright, what are you? It's a strap side. When you see this coming up the side like that, I don't see any emboss. Well, is that embossing? There is embossing on this. I can't tell what it says, but it has embossing. It may be a very old milk of magnesia. We'll have a look at it on the cleanup. So when I talk about quicksand, this is what I mean. Well, when I recovered the last bottle and I was trying to get back to where I was, I had to use a rake for the recovery. This is where I was standing, and it's like, my guess is all the rocks are the top layer and gravel, and then below that is all the organic material that's been dumped in the river that sits on top of the base clay and the bedrock. So watch where you step and always know the direction that you came from so you could get back out of it. This is an intact lid to a stoneware crock. I don't know why there are so many knives in the river, but there are. That looks very interesting. Let's go under and get it. This is made out of clay. And it doesn't look like it was made yesterday, and it is intact. I just found a big guy beverage. It says People's Bottling Co. And then on the other side, Akron O, a locally bottled beverage. I think what we got here is a really old whiskey. Yep, it's an old whiskey. I'm looking at it. It looks after 1900, but not much after 1900. And it is a slick. And what slicks are glass bottles that don't have any embossing on them. Slick's bad. Tires and tree branches always manage to catch bottles. Here's a perfect example of this. This was another big guy. You see how clean this is? That's probably because when the erosion happened during the heavy rains, this might have popped out of the bank. And it was probably underground all that time and not getting algae and all the yuckiness on it. Here's the remains of a radio. Judging by the looks of it, it's probably the 60s or 70s. Here's a small bottle. Let's see what this is. About just 4 inches or so down. I think I feel embossing on it. It's a screw top. And it says something that I'm not sure of. I will have to look this up. Maybe you know. This is likely the top to an old wooden barrel. So here we have a small corktop Listerine. I would guess between 1900 and 1920. Could be earlier, could be later. Listerine, Lambert Pharmaceutical Company. These are scientific instruments. They usually have like a card on it that says what college and who the researcher is. You leave these alone for their research, but I do see a fishing lure behind it. Do you see it? Thank goodness I didn't get skunked on the marbles today. Didn't sift like I anticipated, kind of ran out of time, but this one's in the shallow. Might as well just reach in and pick it up and have a look. Yeah, they just lay right in the gravel like that. Well, that got some black in it. Don't have any like that. So it's out here, you just got to come out and get it. So I'm trying something new. Right where I found that marble, I just started raking. You could see how there's all kinds of algae and slime on the rocks. Thought maybe if I could rake that and stir it up a little bit. And here's a marble right here, I believe. And it's broken in half. But it proves the principle that if you rake this, it makes them easier to see. Okay, since I'm here and I said about it, I might as well do some sifting. Right here in this area is where I just found that marble. Just going to take a sample of material from around here. I'll do 2. If I find anything good in either one of them, I will continue.
top. Okay. A lot of mussels or clams or whatever they happen to be. I'm not an expert in that either. A jack of all trades, master of none. It's getting lighter, getting lighter. Okay. What do we have? I can't tell you it's labor intensive to do that. I see nothing in that one.
It's just nice and peaceful out here. And my sifter's floating away. Catch you on the next one. I was walking out here and I looked down. This looked a little odd. It says Blinky's Perfect Tether. Looks like something for a infant maybe. We'll look it up. I'll let you know. Well, walking out again, here's something else. You guys see that bottle down there? Looks like it might be a good one. It's a corker. Does it have embossing or is it a slick? This looks like a slick medicine. Yeah, definitely a cork top. That's okay, I like these too. Looks like it might be pre-1900s, so late 1800s. Okay, here's the cleanup. We'll start with the knife. Looks pretty much like a standard kitchen knife, wood handle, not sure of the age. 2 fishing lures. This one looks like it might be of a higher quality. This clay item here, a lot of detail. I have no idea. It's looks whole. Not sure about it, how old or what exactly it is. This is a lid to a salt glazed crock, a very small one at that, but nice to find whole. If I find a crock in the future that fits that, then I'll already have the lid. I said this was Blinky's Perfect Tether in the video because I couldn't read it, but after cleaning it up a little bit, it says Binky's Perfect Teether. So you hear people talk in reference to a baby's binky. This is probably where it originated from. And researching this online, it's from the 1940s, early 40s. 3 pairs of glasses, 2 sunglasses in the frame. This Joker is wave set. It's like holds hair in place, and it is from the 1920s. So if you could imagine what people's hair looked like in the 20s, they were possibly using that product. The whiskey flask is 1900 to 1910 is my guess. It's in really good shape. Of course, it's a slick. Most of them that you find will be slicks. Some of them will have cool things embossed on them. Just not that one. A slick medicine. And this would have had a paper label on it. It's a cork top, but it's right around 1900 or thereafter because of the production methods here. A piece of a plate, I don't think that's old. It's probably 50s at latest. But the one marble here, the whole one, that's a pretty nice one. I don't have an example like this, so I'll have to look that up. And we have this broken half that I found when I raked the surface. Little cork top, probably 1890s. And if you could see, I don't know if you could see that, it still has the cork in there. A lot of lip chip around the edge here. The Listerine That's a very early Listerine product. It says Lambert Pharmaceutical Company, cork top as well. But it has a big hole from a BB gun. You find really nice bottles and then they have that little tiny hole in them. That's what it is. So what else do we have here? Yes, the big guy soda. This, I've never seen one, and this one is in astonishing condition for a river find. It had to just pop out of the bank and then float down the river recently to be in that good a shape. It has a P on the bottom. That is for People's Bottling Company. You can see that on the bottom. And People's Bottling Company is the same company as People's Dairy, if you know anything about the Akron area. And these were made in, I think, first 1924 is what I researched. And then this is probably my favorite thing of the day. People ask me, why do you do this? Why do you go into the dirty river and recover things? And it's because I like to, hold something in my hand and imagine who was using this or what was going on in the world at the time this thing was made. And you could see as a first patent milk of magnesia bottle, this is the first one you see on the base, August 21st, 1906. So I asked myself, what was happening? I think of maybe perhaps a room full of gentlemen sitting at a table, all wearing monocles, discussing whether or not there is a civilization in the center of the earth. You know what I'm talking about. Something like that. All right, what else do we got here? Covered that. I think that's it. Make sure you come along for the next one. See you then. I can't forget to mention this monster. This mussel. I have never seen a mussel this size. It is the size of my hand. And it's said that with mussels in the river, that's a sign of a healthy river. Some of these species in the Cuyahoga were becoming extinct. Now, I grew up by the Monongahela River. I'd never seen anything this size. I've been out in this area for about 10 years. I've never seen anything quite this big. This is astonishing. And if this is any gauge of the health of the river and coming back to a more normal, natural state, then that's a really good sign. With them removing some of the dams, that helps out to make the water cleaner. And the gorge dam, if you're from the area, you know what the gorge dam is. When they finally remove that, that's going to do wonders. It's going to bring in people from all over the country for the whitewater rafting and the Class 5 rapids that it'll create when they remove that dam and uncover the original rocks. So just thought I'd mention that. Again, see you next time.